نفسي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الواحد القهار. وصلى الله على محمد وآل محمد الأئمة والمهديين وسلم تسليما. I am Abdullah, the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, the successor of the Comforter Ahmad, the successor of Simon Peter, the successor of Muhammad, the successor of Jesus Christ. I am the true and legitimate Pope. I am the proof upon the Christians.
The Bible warns us about the prophecies in Revelation concerning false Christs, false prophets rising up out of nowhere and deceiving many, speaking a message of unity to gather as many as possible for one cause, while simultaneously alienating anybody who does not unite for their cause. Although this man may not be the Antichrist, he is potentially the false prophet or a type of the false prophet in Revelation 13, and what you will see him proposing are some things that go along with the one world mentality, the uniting of one another with the acceptance and tolerance message, a message of peace in the Middle East, and also a message against the Lord's chosen vessel, the Apostle Paul, and his gospel of grace.
As far as the LGBTQ people go, first off, I want to start off this discussion by sending a special salams out there to them. I send the peace and mercy and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to all members of the respectful LGBTQI community. And I come today with a message of love. That's been the message that we've always had for them. They are no different in my eyes or in the eyes of the believers that are with me than any other group of people that belong to any other denomination or faith or race or nationality or background. The doors of the da'wah has been, is, and forever always will be open to all of them. No matter what it is that they have done in life, no matter where it is that they are going, no matter what it is that they are doing currently.
2 Thessalonians 2:10, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. So one of the things the false church, the false system wants is unity of religious and non-religious people, to comply with the system. If you're religious, compromise or be deceived into accepting the message. If you're not religious, find the message attractive because of its inclusivity, and then comply with it all for the sake of unity. And this is something that many religions are doing, working together for the sake of one world unity.
Roman Catholics worldwide reacting to a seismic shift from the Vatican. Pope Francis now permitting Roman Catholic priests to bless same-sex marriages.
I think that's a great step forward. I think that's wonderful news, to be honest.
The Bible just says that it's not, that you shouldn't do that. So yeah.
The Pope's approval reverses the Church's position from just 2 years ago when it said it could not bless same-sex couples, saying because God does not bless sin.
It's a major step forward for LGBTQ Catholics, and it's really the first time that there's been any sort of opening to blessing same-sex couples. So it's a big deal.
The new Vatican ruling allows same-sex marriages to be blessed separately from regular church rituals, a distinction underscoring the church's unchanged stance on marriage, defining it only as between a man and a woman. In his 10 years as Pope, Francis has prioritized making the 1.3 billion member church more inclusive.
Hear me and obey. I am a messenger sent to you from Jesus Christ, alayhi salam. Paul is false and led you astray. The church is corrupt and no longer upholds the law of God, nor does it defend the oppressed. The papacy has been stolen and the rightful heir has been pushed aside. There is no one else but me that you are obliged to obey. May God be a witness that I have proclaimed. You follow a false prophet named Paul. Paul who never met Jesus Christ, who killed Christians. Paul who fought against Peter and the disciples, who called them hypocrites, who changed the laws of Jesus and ordered and commanded obedience to the tyrants. Paul who wrote half of the Bible and invented the modern day version of Christianity. Don't believe me? Because you say I'm Muslim? Go ask the Jewish rabbis. Go see what they have to say about Paul and his corruption of the Hebrew Bible and twisting of his verses. Christians are afraid to look into the Quran or the message of Islam because of Paul. After all, it was Paul who said, "But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach a gospel other than the one we preach to you, let them be under God's curse." Funny that a man who fought Christians and killed them and never met Jesus writes half of the Bible and then warns the Christians of anyone else who preaches a gospel other than his.
Galatians 1:12, Paul says, "I neither received it of man, nor was I taught it, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ." So we know Paul received his gospel directly from Jesus Christ himself, as a chosen vessel to bring the gospel of the grace of God where men can be saved freely by his grace. The gospel of grace, Jesus Christ's message of salvation through Paul, is something a lot of churches and men do not like. They want to get rid of it because it is a message of free salvation dependent on Jesus' blood and sacrifice. The man Jesus alone, not of need of a priest or a prophet or a community or the state or a church or a leader, but only the Word of God and your faith. But what people want is works-oriented religion, because it puts a focus and a need on them. Even Christians today, deceived because of their lack of ability to understand their Bible, read it in context, want to be back under the law or performance-based acceptance, just like the Jews and the Catholic Church. They will fit in well with those who hate Paul in the end times, because so many are attempting to take the gospel of the grace of God away, and one day it will be taken when the dispensation of grace ends and God fulfills Bible prophecy, turning back to the Jews, rapturing his church, and dealing with his people in the tribulation period.
Well, I do have a proposal. I think it would solve things. It would be the ultimate solution for peace in the Middle East. I propose that since the Jews are claiming that this is their land, and since they're claiming that it was originally given to them by God. And that every time they were exiled, God was upset with them. And that every time they were given back the land, God is happy with them. So they believe that they should stay there because God gave it to them, and God brought them back to the land, and God is enforcing their staying in the land today. Right?
Yes, that's true.
And the Muslims believe that the Jews are disbelievers, breakers of the covenant, killers of the prophets and the messengers. They believe that they don't have a claim to the land. Elijah alayhi salam says, let's get 2 cows, okay? And you bring the 450 prophets of Baal and let them pick whichever one of these 2 cows that they want. And we'll take the other one. And let them slaughter the cow. And let them lay the cow as an offering on wood. And we'll do the same. And whichever offering God accepts and consumes by fire, then He's with them. He's the right God. We'll worship that God. If fire consumes the cow that was sacrificed and offered by the prophets of Baal, then we're losers, we don't have God with us, and we'll all become followers of Baal.
Okay, so it's like a mubahala.
It's a mubahala. But if we win, then you guys got to follow our God. I think we should do the same today. I think that's the only solution for peace in the Middle East. We should have a giant mubahala that takes place, where we get all of the prominent Jewish rabbis. We tell Israel, bring all of your most prominent rabbis, whoever it is that you choose, all your holy men, bring them. We get all of the international TV stations recording. We bring the UN out there. We bring international organizations. We televise the event live. And we bring the Muslims too. And we make them pick the Palestinians the best of their sheikhs, the best of their imams. And we let each one of them slaughter a cow and offer it on wood, an offering on an altar, and whatever offering is accepted by fire, then God is with them.
I think that's an amazing idea. I think that that's an amazing solution, because you're going back to exactly what they believe. You're going back to the way that they understand God to communicate and how God has communicated before, according to the scriptures.
If fire consumes the offering of Israel in front of the whole world, then everybody should immediately convert to Judaism. And the Muslims should be the first people to destroy Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa and allow the rebuilding of the temple. And if it's not, though, accepted, and the offering of the Muslims is accepted, well, then the Jews have to review themselves. And they have to immediately be ready to accept that God, their Hebrew God, the same God which they claim the Muslims are worshiping too, and that's why Jews allow themselves to pray in mosques, is not with them. And He just embarrassed them really bad, let them down really bad on international television in front of everybody. All the Israelis need to know that they're not on good terms with God. He didn't accept their offering. Clearly, He's not with them. And they have no basis for their claim anymore. And now they should convert to Islam.